Hi everybody, welcome to Jim Cramer's Daily Market Show. I'm Scott Gamm on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. All right, Jim, let's start off with your interview with Larry Kudlow. He's going to China.
Yeah, look, Larry's my old partner from Kudlow and Cramer. I'm very proud to have been associated with him there and be his friend. But look, Larry was a free trader. And I think what he's recognizing is that perhaps that China can't be considered a free trader, so he's got to go in with what I regard as being a very tough message. And I remain convinced, after speaking to Larry, that everybody's got to be concerned about the so-called victory that David Faber talked about, meaning that if Larry talks real tough, and you heard that he will, and he's not a globalist when it comes to China, and you stark on that question of globalists versus nationalists with me, that there's going to be repercussions. And I think that one of the reasons why I am, as I look at the board, I mean, look, just turn around, just show. See, I look at this and I say to myself, okay, the Dow's up a lot, okay, but the transport's not doing that well. We are all living in a world that is quite, let's just say, hostage to what Larry's going to be doing in China. And as much as I do think that the earnings have been so good, I think that that's the other side of the trade. Some people think that it's the tenure that is haunting us. I am telling you, it's the tariffs that are haunting us. Tim Cook was in the White House the other day, and Larry got to meet him. I thought, obviously, meetings went well. But the problem is, how well did the meetings go in terms of what the Chinese will do? Will the Chinese retaliate? Will they have a boycott of Apple? Will the Chinese retaliate? Will they say, okay, you put tariffs on $100 billion worth of imports, we're going to make your socks cost more. We're going to make your furniture cost more. We're going to make your toys cost more. We're going to make the American working person pay more. So that's what we're up against. I also talked about the May 1 deadline for 232. Will the president stand by his word? John Ferriola from Nucor actually made that point on Mad Money, Nucor being a terrific Action Alerts holding. So a lot's in the balance. A huge amount is in the balance. And it makes it so that Fridays have been quite bad. And it makes it so I reiterate, as I said last night, and as I've been saying, when we have rallies like these, take a little off the table. The tariffs are front and center. I am telling you, take a little off the table.
Okay, take advantage of this strength. Meanwhile, Jim, you had a huge show on CNBC.
Yeah, let's just go over. Just
a host of CEOs. Let's start with Lisa Su at AMD.
Okay, Lisa Su saved that company. So you could say, well, Jim, you softballed the questions. All right, here's what I did. I gave Lisa Su credit for taking this company from being in loss mode to being in profit mode. Gross margins expanding, revenues on fire, winning big business, PCs, notebooks, okay? Eric Johnson, thank you for helping me with getting questions. Eric Johnson doing an unbelievable job on everything tech. If you don't read them, you don't know anything. I link most of his pieces. I try to link every one of them. She had some very good things to say about cryptocurrency and blockchain. She thinks it's for real. 10%, probably goes down a little bit. The main thing that I liked is she is in the hunt against NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA is a core holding for Action Alerts, not backing away. Why? Because she said, look, the market's huge for those. So I liked everything she said. I want to congratulate her for making that balance sheet strong. She's starting to buy back debt, for taking share. Intel, I know you know I think the world of you, and I like your stock, and I like it more than AMD after this move. For going up against Jensen Huang, who is a genius in NVIDIA, I remain loyal to NVIDIA. But AMD, she's done a good job, and the stock deserves to be higher.
All right, what about Gary Kelly at Southwest Airlines?
Gary is a great man for coming on. This is a sad time for Southwest. They had a fatality. Obviously, Gary's company has been hurt by that. The revenues are down. The stock is breaking down. Gary hedged better on fuel than some of the others. All the airlines are flush. They can buy more planes. Do I think that you can hold here? I was going back and forth with my writing partner, Matt Horween. The stock does look like it's breaking down. So let's just speak long term. The company's never had a loss, unlike the rest of the airline industry. The company operates in the single best areas of the country in terms of strength. It will be back.
All right, and what about the new Chipotle CEO?
Okay, Brian Niccol, I mean, I've listened to his speeches before. He's very inspirational. He came up with Live Mas. He didn't go No Mas Chipotle. You can't lay a glove on him, frankly, because I tried to be able to say that the old Chipotle really was always saying, listen, you know, you can go Taco Bell and eat all those chemicals, or you can go us. I think he's done a smooth transition. Why? Because he's focused on technology. I hope he's also focused on breakfast. I think he can do that Chipotle and other day parts. Didn't get to ask him a lot of questions. Shared interview with the fabulous Kate Rogers. But let's go over this. He's talking about mobile pay. They've got that, okay. He's talking about catering. He's talking about throughput. These are all things about the mechanics. And he made it clear that the company, remember, by the way, this is not a franchise company like Domino's. It's not a franchise company like Yum. This is owned and operated with lots of stores, and I think he feels like the mechanics haven't been good, and the costs are better because the avocado price is so crucial. As I know from Bar San Miguel, they have knocked our budget down time and time again since we started the restaurant. But I think that Brian Nichols is going to do a great job, and the stock has had its downturn. It's been a long time since what happened. The American people forget. He's going to have a good message. The man, by the way, a Nova fan, if you'll listen to some of his of what he talks about, Jay Wright, an inspiration for him because he's from Philadelphia. Chipotle's probably done going down.
Okay, Jim, you were also very encouraged by Visa's earnings and economic bellwether.
Look, Al Kelly is remarkable, just as remarkable as Charlie Scharf, and the company is a technology company that masquerades as a financial company. I like PayPal more, core holding for Action Alerts Plus. Dan Schulman's going to be speaking at our boot camp, basically. I'll be interviewing him, the fabulous CEO of PayPal. But I want to make it very clear that Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, they are in the sweet spot. They are what people want. They are about automation, they are about digitization, and Al Kelly's doing a fabulous job.
And we'll have more on PayPal in our ActionAlertsPlus.com video after this. Meanwhile, Jim, last night you spoke to Scott Wapner with a new book out on Bill Ackman versus Carl Icahn.
You know, I think that Scott is a friend of mine, just in terms of teamwork. Scott and I are team players. I think that what Scott has written about is, frankly, battle between two titans, and the football, so to speak, is Herbalife. And I tried to drill down on the notion that there was a company involved there, but once it became a battleground, of which, by the way, clearly won by the tougher street fighter Icahn, but it's just the kind of thing you couldn't invest in because you didn't know who was going to win. But in the end, the toughest guy won. And that's what I love to talk about with Scott.
All right, and Jim, we'll be watching you tonight on Mad Money, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and we have a corporate governance conference coming up June 7th, and Steve Mollenkopf, who David interviewed, will be there, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to hear about Qualcomm. So we've got Dan Schulman coming up for 1 hour events. We've got Steve Mollenkopf for another, and another list of people. I don't even want to talk about it yet; it's so big. But I remain convinced that when you get a big upward move like this, take something off the table. And by the way, we're going to talk on our own video about some of our winners and some of our losers and what we would do right here.
Yes. Please join us on ActionAlertsPlus.com. We'll see you there.